It's 1987, and Konami, fresh off cancelling his last project and thus setting the tone for the working relationship to come, asked Hideo Kojima to make a Commando clone. However, they also wanted to make it on the MSX, which doesn't handle scrolling screens very well.
When Kojima joined the company, he hoped to work on arcade and Famicom titles, having plenty of ideas that would work on those platforms that were a nightmare to get running on the MSX. So Kojima does what any good game dev would do, and innovates around the limitations. Instead of having a running battle across a moving screen, now it's moving from screen to screen and avoiding enemies. It's sneaking around and stealing what you need. It's navigating a static grid map of screens that gives the impression and feeling of exploring a huge sprawling base. It's frustrating and slow, but because of that major design decision, it's also the birth of the stealth action series.
This decision nearly killed the game, because the manifestation of human suffering that is Konami's management didn't like the direction that Kojima was taking it in. With this, the cancellation of his last game, and probably the inspiring words he'd received from colleagues up to this point, all nearly led to him leaving the company.
Kojima credits the senior devs in Konami's MSX division at the time, yeah, probably not those ones, with encouraging him to stay and finish the project. This, he says, and the limitations posed by what ended up being the MSX2's hardware, are what got Metal Gear over the line. And I'm glad he got it made.
Because the world would be a much bleaker place without stuff like this.
Monkeys! But not just any monkeys.
You said monkeys? Gotcha! All done! Yes!
It's the year 19XDX, and a terrorist group called Out of Heaven are threatening the world with a nuclear missile-equipped walking tank named Metal Gear. Special Operations Unit Fox Hounder sent in one of their agents, Grey Fox, with whom all contact was lost upon encountering Metal Gear. Now you, a new recruit named Solid Snake, are being sent in to find Grey Fox and destroy Metal Gear. Find Grey Fox, you say? Never mind that disappeared after finding Metal Gear sounds like code for smeared by the mech. It's probably not a great idea to send the new recruit in after the more experienced operative already gets caught. Although it is hard to argue with this intro music. Do 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 do. This is Big Boss, Operation Intrude N313. Infiltrate the enemy's base Out of Heaven and destroy the ultimate weapon, Metal Gear. Yeah, this is Big Boss. And Big Boss is not helpful. He's your superior officer in all this, ostensibly, on hand to give you helpful information and guide you through the mission, and I mean, yeah, he sort of does that, but in a way that makes me wonder how he even got the mission off the ground. The amount of stuff that he forgets to tell you, he's calling you every 5 seconds. Did Snake even get a briefing for this mission before leaving? I forgot to tell you, in order to turn off the juice, you'll have to destroy the electrical power panel. Hey Snake, I forgot to tell you about another mission critical thing. You probably could have used that. I'm sorry, I just forgot. Hey Snake, I forgot to tell you that room is full of fucking gas, and that you need a gas mask. I hope you're not fucking choking to death. So yeah, he's not helpful, and he reiterates that you need to find Grey Fox and destroy Metal Gear again, so you head into the base and 5 steps in. This is Big Boss. The mission is infiltration. Make sure the enemy does not discover your whereabouts. Great advice. Here's how you do that. The soldiers of Out of Heaven are almost totally blind, while you, the player, have the benefit of omniscient sight for meters around you. Also, I still don't think they can hear the ghosts coming out of your radio. But what do you want? This game came out before the NES was released. This game came out before I was even born. They were working with the limitations of the time, though I'm sure even at that time, this probably wouldn't have been considered very hard. And you know, in later games, they explain the ringing of the codec as vibrating the small bones of the ear, which means only you can hear the person talking to you. And no, I can't remember right now if it gives a reason as to why Snake is able to talk out loud at length without anyone hearing him. In this game though, it's a radio, and I assume they came up with the earbone
explanation, because it's not exactly stealthy to be walking around with the thing going off every 5 minutes all beep beep, hey Snake, it's Big Boss, don't get caught on your sneaking mission! Hey wait, what if I want to call Big Boss? Hello? Okay, yeah, I'm sure that's fine. Out of Heaven, which I think is both the name of the terrorists and the base that we're infiltrating, is fucking massive. And you're probably looking at this like, that doesn't seem so bad, but that's because you haven't realized that there's no map and that this game loves padding. Your main methods of progression are 1. Finding the right card key. 2. Backtracking. 3. Punching walls to find weak spots you can blow up. And 4. Calling someone at a weirdly specific moment. Alright, step 1. Finding a key card. Fuck yes, I am a killing machine! So deadly with my bare fists that I'll erase your physical being from existence. Although a gun is always still good, yes, I'll take the gun, thanks. Alright, I've got a gun, and I've got reality-altering punches. Let's get this mission done. Nope, fuck that. Remember just now when I said you don't have a map? It's fine, you won't need it, because you'll walk through these screens so many times you'll have it memorized in no time at all. Which is actually to say as many times as required to die, respawn, walk back through the map again, do that a few dozen times. Respawning will take you back to the last building entrance you came from, and you'll lose all the progress that you made since you last saved. And that includes rescuing prisoners, the purpose of which isn't immediately clear, but the doing of which is absolutely necessary to progression in the game. So for the moment, let's just assume that Solid Snake's a good guy who just likes saving dudes. And there are plenty of things that'll kill you, usually cheap bullshit like accidentally walking into the next screen only to hit a guard's line of sight and then die in the ensuing chase, or any of the countless times you'll walk into a room and suddenly the floor just gives way, like Out of Heaven have been taking all its notes on traps from Looney Tunes, or my personal favorite, only being able to use one item at a time, including keycards. So if you're in a gas room and you need to open a door, you need to switch off of your gas mask to the keycard to open the door and start losing life. Because again, Solid Snake, fresh recruit, freaks out if something's on his face while he needs to use his hands, here to save the world. So you're running around, picking up keys and gas masks and all that good stuff, and you come to this bit. And when Big Boss said infiltrate the base and don't get captured, what he actually meant was come to this specific spot right here and then immediately get captured. Yes, that's a good you've done, good job. You're in a holding cell. It looks like there's no way out. All your stuff is gone. This is peak Metal Gear. All that's missing is Ocelot creepily torturing us.
We're going to play a game, Snake.
Now we come to step 2 and start punching some walls. So the left-hand wall of the cell you're in is weak enough for you to break through with your all-powerful fists. And through there you'll find Grey Fox. Yep, that's definitely him. You made it, rookie. Wait, hang on. How did you know I was coming to rescue you? Was sending in an experienced soldier always part of the plan? He tells you that Metal Gear is almost complete, and when it is, it'll be able to fire a nuclear missile from anywhere on the planet. That's cool and all, but given the fact that those nukes are still strapped to a massive mech in what I assume is probably the late 80s or early 90s, the thing can't be too mobile, you'll still need a way of getting it around, maybe an aircraft carrier or some kind of airlift thing, and that isn't really much better than ships or planes that could fire nuclear missiles, and I'm pretty sure they had those back then. Why were we afraid of Metal Gear again? Anyway, Dr. Drago Petrovich Madnar is the only person that knows how to destroy Metal Gear, and he's being held somewhere in the building. Hey cool, that means he's close by, right? Technically yes, but you've still got a long ways to go before you find him. Wait, hang on, how did Grey Fox get out? How did Grey Fox get out of the sealed room that I never really left since it's all just one big room now? Did I actually have to come in here for you, asshole? Could you have just done this on time? Alright, fine. I'll just be on my own way then. You are being held in the basement of the first building, and about here is where you encountered the first boss, the Shotmaker. That's what he's called in the English version. In the Japanese version, he's the Shoot Gunner, which is a much better name. It's a shame because they seem like they get much more of a character build-up in the Japanese version of the game. There's more radio conversations and all this stuff was cut for the Western release. They don't even get a mention in the English manual, but in the Japanese manual, which is infinitely better and was shown considerably more care and respect than the English one, each one of the bosses gets a little description. There's a cool little illustration of all their silhouettes and a secret entry at the bottom that hints at the leader of Outer Heaven, which I'm pretty sure... Wait, what? Yeah, look, this isn't without precedent from Japan. It's best not to dwell on this stuff. So anyway, rolling around at the back of the room against the wall like he's eaten nothing but meth for days, and based on that I can only guess this is him jacking it at hyperspeed to shoot you with his high-powered jizz shots. That's what the name means, right? Running up to punch him only gets you killed, so what do? Well, this is basically the one time in the game where you can open a door without any kind of card or item. He stuffs in a bag on this desk, including this little transmitter here, which if you leave in your inventory will cause guards to just keep coming after you, so just press like the use key here and get rid of it and you're fine. And you get your guns back, so you think, cool, it's time to go fight shooty with shooty, right? This is wrong. At least if you're thinking of using the pistol or the machine gun. No, you need to pull the RC missiles out and shoot them from the cover of these crates. And that's it. Once he's dead, he's just dead. You know, there's no long soliloquy, there's no big speech, there's not really a lot of fanfare in the game for every single event like there would be later in the series. They just eat shit, die, and you move on. There's a bunch of walls blocking off most of the basement area and a locked door in the other room, but I can sort of see this door here in this bit that I can't get to yet, so you're gonna probably come back here later, right? Of course you do, we've barely had to do any backtracking yet. From here, we need to go to the roof. Of course, you can't just go straight there because beep beep!
Hey Snake, I forgot!
Yeah, that's fine. There's a wind barrier that prevents you from getting out onto the roof, and you need to find a bomb suit to get past it. So, head back downstairs, start looking around. Classic. At this point, the third floor and the basement are the only areas not properly explored, and the basement isn't really accessible right now, so the third floor it is. And if you're anything like me, you'll stumble straight into the next boss fight. The Machine Gun Kid. That is... Oh, these names are not good. And Diane, a person you literally never have to call before this point, I just wanted to see what she'd say. She gives you intelligence on all the bosses and tells you how to beat them. And right now she's telling me to just use the RC missiles again. I don't have any of those right now, I used them all on the last guy that could take multiple explosions to the face, so I guess I just have to settle for the grenade launcher. We've got 3 card keys now, which means our first method of progression is getting progressively more annoying. See, each door has a security level, and every door in a given area won't have the same security level, and a higher level keycard can't open a lower level security door. So from this point on, most times when approaching a door, it's going to involve this little dance right here. Yeah, that's going to get worse. And for the moment, the rest of the floor is inaccessible without keycards except for this little room right here, where you can find the parachute. This thing is going to teach you an important lesson about item usage, but that comes later. For now, we're heading back to the basement. Sealed walls, no card keys, we're falling back onto step 2 and punching walls. Despite the walls looking like they might just fall apart under a light breeze, you're gonna need plastic explosives to get through all these walls. And at the center is the bomb suit.
Did that duck just teleport?
Now there's 2 things of major note on the roof. The first is this room locked up behind an electric floor with jetpack guns defending it, and no matter how many times I try, I just can't get in there. Oh, did they even have functioning jetpacks back then? Do we even have functioning jetpacks now? Oh, come on, I just... The second thing is the Hind D. Its first appearance is a staple meme of the series and the third boss that you're going to encounter. This is probably one of the actual, real, challenging fights of the game, and by challenging I mean it requires at least a little bit of skill to beat, and there are no exploits as far as I'm aware. You have to weave between the Hind D's attacks to fire off grenades in its general direction when there's a safe moment, and even though it lasts maybe about 30 seconds if you do it right, getting it right in the first place might take you a few tries. Okay, we're moving along. 3 bosses down, and now there's nothing between me and the courtyard. So just like the gas mask and the keycards, having the item in your inventory isn't enough. And before this point, the worst that would happen in hazardous situations centered around items is that maybe you lose a little bit of health before you can correct things. But if you walk off that ledge without the parachute in your active slot, Snake just drops 3 stories and feeds the dogs of his corpse. Good job, dipshit. Not Snake, this is on me. I'm the dipshit. This is what I was talking about before. After this point, you never forget to have the right item equipped. It's a harsh lesson, but par for the course for this game. This door ain't dancing back, so we come down to this screen, set off a mine we couldn't see, get in the truck to find card 4, blindly trip on some more mines, and holy shit, you thought Snake's fists were powerful? His legs must be some kind of adamantium unobtainium alloy, not just because they're still attached after casually strolling across 3 landmines, but because they would need to be able to support the weight of Snake's ultimate weapon. And then the truck would take you back to the beginning of floor 1. Thanks, game. That means getting back to the elevator, going back up to the roof. Fuck you, still not doing that. Then I parachute into the courtyard, and once I'm back there, I'm straight to searching this building, which is where the player was obviously meant to go after picking up card 4, instead of getting in this stranger's truck and going for a ride around out of heaven, and that sounds way worse out loud. And of course, Dr. Madnar isn't here. Let's just make sure of that. Okay, yeah, we're done here. And through this door is a prison that tells you that Dr. Madnar's been moved to Building 2, which is somewhere to the north of where you are. Walk over here and go through this door and you'll find a shortcut to the beginning of floor 1. Okay. I'm gonna stop here because this game is just exhausting and we're only somewhere between 1/3 to halfway through the game. I need to pace myself, but we're finally about to head to Building 2. So let me just quickly check these trucks here and... Wait, what? Oh god damn!